From Plant Lab in Austin, Texas, this is Stacker News Live!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker News Live. My name is Car with this guy, BFF Keyan.
Wow.
Hey, how's your week going?
How is my week going? I had a nap today, and I had a dream in it. I don't remember it. I remembered it briefly, which is unusual for me, and I enjoyed that.
Wait, you dream?
I don't normally remember my dreams when I sleep.
Nice.
Do you?
All the time.
I'm jealous. I don't.
Can you control your dreams? I've been able to control my dreams.
Those are called vivid dreams. Yeah. Or lucid dreams? You can do that?
Yeah, totally.
What do you make yourself do in dreams?
I haven't done one in a while because I've been so tired I just fall asleep. But the last one that I recall was because there's this time where you know you're in a dream, but have you ever been within a dream, like Inception? That's happened to me multiple times. But the latest one was just trying to find the light in the room. I was like, okay, the dream was forcing me into this one direction. I was like, no, screw that. I'm gonna try to find the light and see if I can flip on the light. Because there's this saying like you can't find the light switch in dreams.
I saw a Twitter thread that said there are no cell phones in dreams. And how weird is that? I was like, well, I don't remember my dreams. I don't know.
No, I've had a cell phone in a dream.
Yeah, I think that was not true, maybe. But it was if it were true, it'd be interesting. It's like we are entering another realm where
dreams.
When we're in dreams and cell phones don't exist.
I can see a world where you have these dreams. Here, I'm just retweeting this real quick. I can see a world where you have these dreams and literally it's like another universe of you, just in a different multiverse. I can see that actually being where you're kind of tapping into somebody that you're connected to in the multiverse. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I've always believed that, even before the Marvel crap.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't think it's true.
But it's very interesting though, if you think that way, where you're like, okay, maybe there is another me or another you in a different universe. And then
there's only one.
And then but you're able to peer in. They're able to peer in, but this guy's doing this pleb lab thing. What the hell is a pleb?
Yeah, they're like, how weird is that? This is strange. What a wacky dream.
And then the other one, they're like, the guy Keyan, he's just like his friend, but he's in a band or something. You know what I mean? You're still there, but you're just a different person.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, the multiverse stuff.
This is your first time ever checking out Stacker News Live. My name's Car. This is Keyan, and we cover the top 5 stories on Stacker News. The front page of Bitcoin. I don't vote on this stuff. I think Keyan votes on this stuff. I don't. Look at it. I didn't vote on any of this stuff.
Yeah, usually that's why you don't have a cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat, schmowboy hat. I have Bitcoin in my wallet. That's all that matters. And I will say, today we're going to cover some really highly spicy topics. Stick around if you want some based stuff coming from my end. If you want some maybe middle of the road opinions, this is Keyan right here. Oh yeah, you like that, right? But if you want some base Bitcoiner stuff, Car's going to deliver that.
Car's a version of base Bitcoiners. There's nothing wrong with Bitcoin.
Hey, we're about to get into it. Hey man, to each their own. I just know what I like about my Bitcoin. Hey, it's like a dish, well served, however you want it. Some people like it rare and undercooked, and some people like it overburnt. And anyways, we're going to jump into it. The first top story of the week is Bitcoin has a scaling solution. This is from George.
Scaling issue.
Scaling issue.
Even you're trying to change the narrative. You're such a spinner.
No, hang on. For the record, this is just me reading the news. Stacker News. Bitcoin has a scaling solution from George 203 BTC, February 20th Bitcoin post. 76 comments, 25,000 sats. Man, Keyan, what is this?
Well, this is a great so George normally writes for Bitcoin Magazine, but they came over and wrote on Stacker News. This is a great post describing some of the real numbers around Bitcoin scaling limits and where it will have problems. He has several kind of figures in here which are not really disputed. These are things we all acknowledge. We can do 260 million transactions per year on chain currently, and
how many was that you said?
260 million transactions per year. So it's not enough for, that's not even enough for every American to have a transaction on chain every year. and that includes, Lightning channel opens, closes, and that kind of thing. Anyway, so if you accept that as reality, which it is, uh, how do we scale Bitcoin beyond 260 million transactions per year? And what are the consequences of that? And I thought he made two really interesting points. One of them is if we do not successfully scale Bitcoin beyond that limit, like self-custody, we can scale self-custody beyond that limit. We end up with something like a gold standard, where the average person does not actually hold Bitcoin. They do not self-custody Bitcoin, and custodians hold it for them, like banks did gold and issued banknotes on top of. So you have this IOU economy rather than like the actual asset being held by normal people. And so the incentives around that you can expect to be similar to banks that took gold deposits, and that's not good because those have frequently failed. And then the other issue is that with fewer people self-custody in Bitcoin, we have fewer people running nodes. The people who find running a node economically relevant are going to be the custodians, which means that we're in a situation where, again, bank-like entities are the ones making decisions about Bitcoin consensus. And so these are the consequences of Bitcoin becoming very popular and not managing to find a way to scale. And so we need to take it seriously. And so he describes the current solutions that Bitcoin has on offer, the things that people are considering, and that's these are things that we're not even near this limit yet. So it's not like a pressing issue at the moment. But if we imagine Bitcoin has worldwide adoption, we need to begin thinking about these things because they are issues. We can say Bitcoin is fine, it's perfect, it never needs to change, but the reality is that's only true at the moment, and you will be in pain later if you do not admit that there might be a problem in the future.
So remember early on, I was saying that go back, stackers. Car was early on this. Remember I kept saying that Bitcoin is in a world of hurt post Bitcoin ETF. Remember me saying that? I said that multiple times. Post Bitcoin ETF, post is just going to look completely different than pre Bitcoin ETF. This is why I was against it from the very beginning. It was like post Bitcoin ETF gets us an entirely different situation, which leads us to conversations like this. Now all of a sudden we have to scale to 8 billion people. Now all of a sudden we have to figure out ways to move. Maybe it's custodial, maybe it's fractional reserve banking, whatever it is. And post Bitcoin ETF, this world has come into fruition. So what I would say is what Super says down here. He literally had the top comment. He says, why is this a problem? He's quoting, it would take 30 years to onboard the world to self-custodial Lightning. Super says, why is this a problem? It took 183 years to build Notre Dame. Not everything grand has to be finished while you are young. And I agree. Like if we're literally building cathedrals here, if Bitcoin has to find a way, it will. We don't need to fix this within the decade, I would even say. Like we have time. And I'm glad that he had the top comment. I think there's just a lot of people on Stacker News, probably more based than some of these other communities. I'm not saying that they're, maximalists or laser-eyed maximalists or anything like that. I just know that there's very low time preference people on Stacker News. It's a totally different community here than you would see on Nostr or you would even see on Twitter. And Keyan, to your credit, like this is what you're building on Stacker News, good or bad. But like these are the people that are voting with their sats, what they believe in. And supertestnet said exactly how everybody believes on Stacker News. And that's what I think too.
No, I think that's a great point. That might be actually okay if you're. But the problem is, while the Notre Dame of Bitcoin is getting built, you are accepting that we're going to have custodians. We're going to have eCashments. Otherwise, you're going to get rich and have Bitcoin in self-custody and be safe. Meanwhile, your family, your friends, everyone who isn't onboarded to Bitcoin yet and has a significant Bitcoin stack, they are screwed until Notre Dame is built. That's what you're saying. I mean, that's okay. If that's okay with you, then this is an okay point to hold. I just, that's really that's the trade-off that's being made. And I agree that maybe if we end up in Bitcoin banks, gold standard like scenarios, that's maybe not the the terminus of Bitcoin and its scaling, but because we can onboard people eventually.
So you're talking about all this other stuff here. You're talking about all this stuff right here, right?
These are the solutions that
are they solutions, or are they just ways that people are trying to find a way to hold people's Bitcoin? This is the first cycle I've ever seen in my entire life since I've been in Bitcoin where Bitcoiners are now trying to hold plebs, regular people on board, new Bitcoiners, Bitcoin. In previous cycles, you had shitcoiners doing that. You had other projects doing that. You had you had the Ethereum people doing that. You had everybody and their mother trying to give them their Bitcoin. This is the first cycle post Bitcoin ETF where now we actually have Bitcoiners trying to custody your Bitcoin for you. I'm not calling the FTXs, no, those aren't Bitcoiners. This is the first time where I've seen this, and that's a yellow flag at the very least. I'm not saying it's a red flag, but it's a yellow flag that people should be paying attention to. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you. I think
because incentives all the way down. Where is this coming from? Who's investing in this? Why is it happening this way? What are the conversations we're having? Who are those podcasts connected to? What funds are they connected to? Who are the LPs for that? Where is this money coming from to incentivize all this custodial Bitcoin? I'm just saying, man, yellow flags all the way around. Somebody should take a look at this. And this is where I love where Peter did. He literally had a podcast with Shinobi talking about these very same issues. Everybody should check this out. This is like must listen to, must watch if you're a Bitcoiner, especially a Bitcoiner on Stacker News, because it seems to be the majority here on Stacker News has the same feeling that Super does. Obviously, Super's a developer. Obviously, Super works on Bitcoin. Obviously, Super works on Lightning. He works on Bitvm.
Okay. So for the audience, Car has not read the article. So he's taking a position that's mostly based on the title and what I've said. But the article lists out things that people are proposing as scaling solutions, not something that the author agrees is a scaling solution. Also, Car points to the Shinobi podcast. Shinobi takes the position of this article in that podcast. He does not take the position of Super. He takes the position of Bitcoin has a scaling issue, and if we don't admit it, we might be screwed because we'll end up in 183 years of Bitcoin banks and people getting screwed by Bitcoin, and then we're left with a bunch of people who have been screwed over by Bitcoin.
I don't remember Shinobi actually taking a position in that episode. I think he laid out everything there for everybody to decide. He was showing the Rubin stuff. Like, everybody saw this. Everybody knows this. I don't remember him ever taking a position, Keyan.
Well, you should listen to it again.
I'll listen to it again.
He says explicitly, and he's like, 1% of 1% of people will be able to self-custody Bitcoin unless we do something about Bitcoin's scaling issue. And he talks like 50% of the episode about OpsCTV, which is also the conclusion at the end of this post, is we need vaults. That's how we get things like coin pools and can have self-custody for other people, for more people than Bitcoin currently allows, because Bitcoin has a scaling issue. That is the topic of the episode.
So the next top comment after that was from Omaha. Bitcoin was never meant to scale to all humanity, and that is okay. It's more important to not break it than getting everyone's pet opcode activated on the mainnet. And then George replied to that. He said, this isn't about pet opcodes, sir. CTV is very limited and would be one of the simplest changes ever made to Bitcoin. And CTV certainly doesn't scale us to all humanity. It's non-recursive, but it is a small step in the right direction and hopefully can set a good precedent for future changes if we see a need for them. I hope you actually read the whole post because I feel I explained why we need at least a bit more scale on top of what we already have. Excuse me. I don't know. I love this right here. I just heard about Bitcoin. I'm here to fix it.
I mean, the people who are Shinobi didn't just hear about Bitcoin. The author didn't just hear about Bitcoin. The Jeremy Rubin, who wrote the CTV BIP and implemented it and implemented several variations on it, has been in Bitcoin since like 2011. I just got to Bitcoin relative to all these people.
Hey, man, I have no skin in this game other than just holding Bitcoin. So you don't have to listen to me. I'm not saying to listen to me. I do know that these other things, these other incentives, all this stuff that I'm bringing to light, like, no one's talking about that.
I thought that was great. I thought it was a great point.
No one's talking about it.
No, it's
because they're just yellowing into whatever somebody says and they're believing it. Don't believe me either.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Don't trust verify.
I could work for the CIA. I could be here trying to disrupt everything.
If the CIA wouldn't have you, let's be real.
Hey, man,
You're giving yourself a compliment, buddy.
Hey, man, I seen the Good Shepherd. I could definitely be. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, like, go out there, do your own research. But, dude, the stackers have voted, man. I think this is what happens. And, dude, this is on you. Honestly, ultimately, this is on you, man. Because no one was paying attention to Stacker News. No one was paying attention to anything that was going on here. Everybody's been on Nostr and Bitcoin Twitter. And then all that's been festering here is just a lot of, like, Bitcoiners and their self-sovereign Jesuits, whatever you want to call them, inside a Stacker News community. So it's your fault. Well, I didn't create this. You did.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Bitcoin's community in general. Another thing that Shinobi talks about in that episode is Bitcoin's culture does feel like it's shifting. That's something you said too. And I think there is a bifurcation in Bitcoin. There are the plebs. They all seem to have followed Bitcoin influencers onto Nostr. We have, then we have, people on Twitter, which is mostly a lot of like crypto money people are still, they're still kind of on Twitter. All the devs have gone to delving, and they're spending most of the time on delving.
It's fragmented. I would say I don't think the culture is changing. I think it's always been here. I think the narratives are changing, and I go back to what I said earlier. Like post Bitcoin ETF, I don't remember Bitcoiners asking for you to take your Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. I don't remember that last cycle. I don't remember that the previous cycle.
Yeah,
everybody was super bullish on Lightning. It seems everybody's super bullish on getting you to give them their Bitcoin. That's all I'm saying. I'm just speaking truths that no one else is speaking out there. That's it. And the stackers come here to listen to that. The builders come here to learn about that. Like, that's all I'm doing. Just throwing that out there for people that are listening right now. And I don't think people care, regardless what I have to say. So it doesn't matter.
No, they don't care about what either of us have to say, and they shouldn't. But hopefully we're giving you some things to think about while you make up your own mind.
I don't know. I'm not dying on any other hill but Bitcoin. Call me crazy, but so we're good? We can move on?
I think we can move on. I think we've had it out.
I wish you shared the same thing that you said earlier before the show.
What did I say earlier?
You said something pretty controversial. I was just like, I can't believe you said that to me.
Tell me what I said. I will share it again. I believe what I had said earlier.
Wow. You want to double down on it now?
Sure, go.
No. I love you too much.
Well, I don't even remember what I said.
It's okay. I remember.
But I believed it if I said it.
The next top story is, what are you even going to do with the money? This is personal finance territory from Fabs, February 21st. 103 comments? What? 119,000 sats? Dude, what are you doing here? It's a lot of sats, bro.
Yeah, someone really loved this post. And I did think it spurred a really interesting discussion. It's very subtle how interesting the discussion is. But the question is really asking, for all the people who are stacking like psychopaths, what do they plan to do when they're rich? Like what like are you thinking about that future at all? Is there an end? Are you just that invested in the process that you're not thinking about what the end is like? And you should, because it, maybe the answer is a lot different than you think it is, and your behavior might change as a result during the stacking phase. Anyway, lots of great discussion. There was a great comment in here from Elvis that kind of saw this as similar to Jordan Peterson's self-authoring program, which is this program that prompts you to think about things like this. Like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Like, it challenges you to articulate clearly all of your plans for the future. And most people think they've done that. They have the impression that they know, but they don't. And Jordan, psychological research shows that when people do that, they actually have better outcomes.
Oh, when they plan ahead?
Not when they plan, when they just understand themselves well and their intentions. Their outcomes in life are better. And so this is like a great question to answer for yourself. What do you plan to do when your Bitcoin's worth 1,000 times what it is right now? And you will likely be surprised by your answer.
Oh, wow. We got the top comment from MS Mercury, legendary stacker there. He says, I wish this question got explored more. I think the fact that it doesn't suggest bad things. If you have money, which is what BTC is, and you haven't thought about the uses to which money ought to be put to further your own flourishing, and there's something else going on that's probably not going to end well for you. But whatever, go ahead and clutch the paper where you scribbled your unspent QR seed phrase and your boning. Okay. That got the top comment. They got C Auto. He says, I donate a lot. My lifestyle is good enough, and I can easily afford any vacation I want to have. I don't feel the need to spend more, and I have more spendable money. Doesn't change this fact. Yeah. Oh, Huddle Pleb. Look, Huddle Pleb says, I can't write a lot because I'm on my phone, but if you are patient, you keep your BTC, take out a loan, buy a revenue generating business, use biz to pay back the loan, quit your fiat job, live off the revenue, build things with your family. So a lot of different options there.
What do you think? What do you plan to do? Let's say Car becomes a multi-millionaire, tens of millions of dollars.
See, that's the thing I think most people don't realize about me is I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by impact, and I'm motivated by like how many people can I help on this
planet. But you can still answer that question. So what would you do to help people on the planet now that you're very wealthy? Because that's what you're motivated by, and you have more resources to do it. But you're motivated by helping people, and you have more resources to help people. So how would you help people with?
I'm doing it.
Tens of millions. So you'd put more money into Pleb Lab.
What are you going to do with the money? Is that what the question is?
Well, the question is what you have.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, what would I do if I had all the money in the world? Yeah, I'd build a hackerspace in every city and major town in the world, and it'd be game over for hybrid Bitcoinization. It's that simple.
Okay, we'll see. You self-journaled. That's awesome.
Well, I already know how to get there. It's one thing when people don't know how to get to they don't have a North Star, right? I mean, there was a article that got posted inside of the Pleb Lab stuff and about the Techstars stuff. Like, Techstars probably had a North Star in the beginning, but now they don't. They're closed down. And even if you do have a North Star, like sometimes you can die by it. And some people aren't willing to live and die by a North Star. I am. But those are even fewer companies, because usually what happens is they have a North Star and then they technically kind of move away from it and then it becomes something entirely different. I think you're really good because you just wanted to build like a cool community, a commons place, and you have that North Star, and I think you are going to do it because you've seen traction and it's heading that way. But I think people don't even have that to begin with, you know. But I don't know if it's related to this or not.
Yeah, well, so for Techstars, my understanding is they just consolidated. So I think their North Star was probably to help to try to be like a Y Combinator type mission, help as many startups as possible, also get in early so they have a nice sizable equity chunk, but really create more startups is what a lot of these things exist for, and that's what Pleb Lab exists for. And so that I think they didn't think they were doing that very effectively with several locations, and you do end up spreading out your energies when you have 400 locations like Techstars.
Oh, totally. I don't even imagine how you do 400. That's wild.
Yeah, right. And like how,
like we just have one location, and that's a lot to handle. But I would say like they probably weren't looking at the right things. Like for me, I look at like have you followed them along their journey and what they became? I know Lisa definitely looks at this when she does her Bitcoin Plus Plus. There's been so many people that have done like hackathon projects in her Bitcoin Plus Plus conferences, and then they end up becoming a company like a year later. But the same thing with Pleb Lab. It's like they come here or they're associated with us or we help them along their way, and do they get to success, whatever that means to them. And it turns out to be true most of the time.
Yeah, that's a cool...
I think that's the best way to... Obviously, we're not keeping track of it.
Yeah, you should though. You should, because that'd be you have a lot of stories to tell.
We'll get there. Cool. Next top story is options for cloud storage with no KYC paid in Bitcoin. This is a privacy territory post. Elvis Mercury, 38 comments, 3,475 sats. Wow, privacy's becoming a big territory now, I've seen.
Yeah, I think this one's right. David W. You really like this one at the very beginning, and I think it'll probably continue to grow. I think it's becoming more and more relevant, this whole stuff. So Elvis Mercury this week asked quite a few questions around privacy and these kind of cloud services, and privacy in general and storage of data, and how might you do it. Another question he asked was if you have like a USB drive that you received from someone, how to like inspect it without without inserting it into your vulnerable computer. anyway, he's asking, many of us are using things like Google Drive or Dropbox or things that are known to be sort of vulnerable to snooping. And how might you not suffer from that vulnerability, or at least in Elvis Mercury's case, is asking how he doesn't even associate his identity with the data that's being stored. Like if he's going to sign up for one of these cloud services, how can he make sure that, or they can make sure that their personal identity is not associated with the account that
Good luck with that.
is storing it? And it's a great question because it turns out there are some answers. And the answer given in the first comment is that Proton actually allows you to sign up for an account without any KYC, and you can pay with Bitcoin. So you get Proton's encrypted storage without any KYC, which is basically answers the question.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I remember we use, for like most businesses, they use like Synology, and that'll sit behind like a pfSense or some type of firewall, then everybody can access it. And then usually for like backups, you'll use like something like Shadowcraft, or Shadow Protect, I think it's called. And then that'll go to like, there's a couple, you've probably never been there, but over there towards the airport, there's like all these facilities. They look like just like brick buildings. You wouldn't know, but they're like data centers. Yeah. And so there's been many times where like when I used to do the IT stuff where like we wouldn't have a backup on prem, and I'd have to go over there with to get a backup of it and have to roll everything out. And man, it was a pain in the ass. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is like I think it just depends on what you're trying to do. Like if it's like personal stuff like that, I think that's a totally different answer.
I think
If
that's
it's
what
like for a business, yeah. I think that's just
for a pleb. What
or
should
like
they
for
do?
a pleb, yeah. I think local on-prem makes sense, and then if you're really crazy about it, you can always do something else at a different location. Maybe it's a family member's house that you know that you can take it to once every 6 months as a backup.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
local makes sense. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it does. It's probably the ideal, I think, but most of us are a little more comfortable with cloud stuff and not maintaining servers at home.
Yeah, which is why like iCloud works and like Dropbox and all that kind of
But
stuff.
but there has to be a privacy focused solution, and it appears there are. The comments list out quite a few of them, and I'd go in there if you're curious about.
Yeah, they have
solving
Majura. He
this
said
for
you
yourself.
could just build out an as self-hosted. Yeah, he said that too. But yeah, it looks like Arclone is one. Arclone.org. Vup.app. I've never heard of this. And doesn't Start9 do this too as well, or no?
Yeah, but that would be hosted. That's self-hosted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure it connects to something.
So it's like we know the ideal is like you're self-hosting it yourself.
Fileend. This one looks interesting.
Yeah, that was in the original post. It seemed he
Yeah.
was already aware of that, but it seems very young by the looks of it. So you're really looking for that like tried and true
Yeah.
thing that's not going to screw up on you. A Proton Drive might be.
Yeah, I got Carmen in the comments. It says, "Can you buy a VPS and store on there? It will be a bit expensive though." Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Somebody should write a post about it. Maybe Stackers.
Yeah, if there's anyone who knows how to do this well.
Who's the privacy owner?
That's David W.
There you go. Privacy post on
Data
different.
colonization.
Maybe you can throw it in graphs too, right? You can drop it in graphs. Show the different
Charts, you mean?
charts. I mean, yeah, charts.
Yeah, you like that one. That one was really smart by Kevin.
Kevin's a smart guy.
Because it's like, oh yeah, well, that people would love that.
Yeah.
People love graphics.
You can just go
and
to.
stuff. There's also a lot
You can
to
just go
discuss on a
to ChatGPT. I think it makes graphs now and charts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The next top story is Braiins working on Lightning payouts with Voltage. Just came out from, dude, look at Graham. So Graham dropped this hot fire on, let me see if I can go here. Will it open up? Open up? Oh, yeah, it will. Okay, very excited to be working with Braiins mining to enable Lightning payouts. This is going to be a game changer for pools and huge UX improvement for their customers, which cloud makes it so quick and easy. There's no reason not to. Did you see this, Keyan?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's nice. I think Braiins is on some level competing with Ocean.
Oh,
and so I think Ocean didn't have or I don't think Braiins had much competition among pleb miners. I think they had won like pleb miner share prior to Ocean, but now Ocean is very loud, and they are doing these kind of more instant payouts, and like I think their intention is to have no like non-custodial payouts where they have no minimums. That's my understanding, at least. And so I think Braiins is looking to compete with them, and now they're doing Lightning payouts. I think also Ocean had that on the roadmap. I'm not sure they've actually executed on that yet. But the whole idea is, if you're just running a single miner in your house, you don't want to have to wait 6 months to accumulate a custodial balance with a mining pool.
Did you get a 6-pack of this?
I got a 12, buddy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. If you want to go run,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get it. Keep talking.
You can get me another one too, please. But the idea, both of them are. What's kind of cool is we're going to see competition where the mining pools are competing to both lower fees and the time that it takes to get your money. And Lightning is a great way for mining pools to provide this. And so it looks like, Braiins doesn't want to have to run their own Lightning node infrastructure and figure out how to do this well. What they do really well is run mining pools and mining pool software. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
And so now Voltage is going to do this for them, and they'll have this great UX for pleb miners.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. When I was at Bitcoin Park for the mining summit. I'm just saying, I was not surprised seeing this announcement.
There were a lot of heavy. I mean, it seems like every recent Peter McCormick podcast was taped in Nashville.
I think
with people who went there.
I think I just come to realize like Nashville's just turned into this place where just like deals and partnerships get done. I think, and that's a good thing for Rod and the guys there at Bitcoin Park. I just see it time and time again. Just like Austin is like the place you come to a startup. I don't know.
The startups go. The problem is the startups go where the deals go. That's trouble for
Why
Austin.
is that trouble?
That's trouble for Austin. Because like one of the big reasons why Silicon Valley became a thing is because there were a lot of VCs concentrated in Silicon Valley. Plus the weather.
Well, we have
beautiful,
Trammell in our backyard. We have
forward.
Trammell in our backyard. And then Marty's here from 1031.
Their presence is more subtle, way more subtle than
Through
1031. Yeah, they really need to get. They need to get Stefan Livera and Trammell. Like if I were running Trammell, I get Stefan Livera on the payroll. And
no, he's with Swan though. He's with the Swan VC guys.
They're not. Whatever. What are they investing in? Tether? What are they investing?
I thought Corey was your boy.
Huh?
I thought Corey was your boy.
Oh yeah, well, me and Corey, we go back. He's been upset at me since the last time I was dunking on him.
Dos Equis.
And
tells how he really feels.
At Pacific Bitcoiner, whatever that conference, that silly conference.
I would say, yeah. I think. I don't know why do we even talk about it? I would just say, like, yeah, I think Bitcoin Park's a good place to go get deals done and partnerships and stuff. I think Austin's still a place you come build a Bitcoin company. Call me crazy. I just think there's just a lot of firepower here as far as developers, help. You have the Commons here. You have Pleb Lab. Like, there's just a lot of places to come do that. I think Bitcoin Park could have a Pleb Lab maybe one day. But it's just, this is where, like, you need a support system for the founders. And there's currently not that. To the degree that Austin has it, Call me crazy, but
we'll see. I
we'll
guess,
see.
yeah.
Right.
But I think there's something to if we're saying if your insight is correct and that the deal flow is there,
totally there. Yeah, there's so much good stuff that comes out of Nashville.
Then I don't think
people realize as far as deals.
We'll see founders concentrate.
I'm not saying this came out of that, but I'm just saying, like, it was just interesting when I saw this. I was like, those are two teams that I saw at the mining summit a month ago. Doxed. But hey, this is what the Sackers come here to listen to. Anyways, the last top story. This is the last top story. The last top story. Using DNS to coordinate Bitcoin payments. This is a rsync 25 post. Bitcoin territory post. 10 comments, 3,940 sats. Keyan, what is this?
We talked about this last week. It's just a Shinobi write-up of Blue Matt's BIP proposal for
Oh, cool.
Lightning address-like functionality using only DNS and DNS security.
Cool.
And, but it's a little more generic. It supports, sending to on-chain addresses in addition to like whatever is stored in this DNS entry. He has, elaborates in the BIP as to what will be supported there. Eventually, you can expect people to use this for Bolt 12 should it get widely adopted. But Shinobi just, does what Shinobi does best. And I think surfaces the relevant technical detail at a level of technical detail that most people can understand it. And so he basically explains that.
Yeah, he's doing a good job over there, man. I don't know what.
It was a great.
I don't know exactly what he does, but I know the only
Magazine,
reason I keep reading Bitcoin Magazine or even looking at it is because of Shinobi. Also, Mark, love you too. But Shinobi's just been dropping some bangers lately. Top comment was from 03. Looks like a lightning node. I think I saw a comment to this proposal somewhere to use / dot well known instead of the DNS. Intend to agree to it. Just looking at the list of use cases here. It's a lot. Yeah. Cool. We're going to jump into Keyan's top post. I don't have a top post this week, Stackers, but there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Keyan, this is your top post. Bitvm Crash Course by supertestnet. Can you believe it?
I can believe it.
Super,
I think Super does some of the best, some of the most fun workshops in general. And this is him explaining Bitcoin VM, which he's
Look at all these people that he doxed.
been doing a lot of, I guess, work and research on recently. And it looks like he did an online class for VM. And so if you're curious about BitVM, please check out this video. It's well worth. I mean, of all the resources you can look at, this is probably the best one you can. This is the first place I'd go if I wanted to understand BitVM more. I don't, because I'm lazy and I don't need another thing to obsess about. But this would be where I'd go. Apparently what he does is he walks you through a tic-tac-toe, building tic-tac-toe into BitVM and demonstrating how powerful this idea of having a general purpose kind of computer on Bitcoin can be, and what that might enable as they do more work and maybe make more discoveries as they do it, and what that might, what things like this might provide for things we were talking about earlier in the episode around scaling. And like one of the things I know the BitVM people are, I think Robin Linus specifically is really interested in seeing merge mining on. I'm concerned about incentives, but I haven't studied them deeply. But BitVM is like, potentially can unlock a lot of primitives in Bitcoin that formerly required an opcode. But what's kind of nice about BitVM is it does it in a very expensive way. So you're only really going to use those. But that's what I like about it, is you're really only going to use those primitives if you're willing to pay a high price. But I don't know. Maybe my understanding is wrong. Anyway, I would check out the video. I think it's cool.
Yeah, check out the video.
Super's always great.
Super's always great. I don't really have any thoughts on it. I think there's a person in here in the lab dabbling on it. We'll see. But I think Super knows how to start a a revolution. He helped with Nostr. And this might be his way of starting another revolution with BitVM. I just know. Yeah. And then my friend here, he's a smart guy. If there's any way they can do it, it's supertestnet.
Very smart guy.
Look at this guy. Supertestnet?
Look at him. His hair, it's all wet. Like he just.
Also, I would say this, like we're doing PBS after this, and maybe they'll talk about BitVM. Because they have more insight into it than I do. We'll see. I'll ask them to. Check out PBS. Cool. That's all the stories that we got for you today, Stackers. You can go ahead and shut off now if you want. Oh, wait, we have Meta?
Didn't we?
No. Did we? Did you drop
Well, there were two. There was BitVM. No, not BitVM.
What's the Meta?
Bird-Eye 21 got engaged. Kind of a big deal.
Oh, right, this one?
Yeah, that was
congrats, Bird-Eye.
Yeah, Bird-Eye. Yeah, Bird-Eye had really come on the Stacker News scene like 6 months
Zap
ago.
them like it's hot.
And
Shoot 'em
really,
some
I
zaps.
think some of the longest, the consistently longest threads were created by Bird-Eye. That's when we really started breaking like 100 comment style threads with the Bird-Eye's
I
questions.
can never point. I don't know how was her name Dana White or no Vanna White? How did she do that?
Yeah, Kari, look.
How did she do that with like
great
the
in,
Wheel of Fortune thing?
Slinky dress.
It's really hard to like see. Even the weather guys, like it makes you wonder, like how do they know where to point? Anyways,
it's like anything they trained.
They trained for it.
They
I've been doing this for what are we on? How many episodes? Over 100? I still don't know.
You hardly do that.
I don't. Train.
So they got engaged. Amazing. Congratulations, Bird-Eye. They asked for advice for the engagement. People answer. I would check that out if you're thinking about getting engaged or whatever. And then, think about it. But the next one was...
Or whatever.
Yeah, maybe don't do it.
So bearish on marriage, Keyan.
I'm not bearish.
You are married, though.
I'm married. I'm married.
Is there a ring
happily?
On there? Okay.
Yeah, there's a ring.
How resilient are you? Is that the one?
No, it was what's the value for value you bring to the table? What's the other top meta? This is great. But people expressing what value they think they're bringing to the world. That's basically the question.
Oh, cool.
And people answer, and it's cool.
You gotta prove yourself more. We're moving to a Bitcoin world.
Cool to see.
You don't provide any value, guess what happens to you?
What happened? What?
I think Bill Gates gets a hold of you, and then you become something else entirely.
Ooh, like a cyborg?
Who knows, dude? Who knows what this guy got planned? Who knows? Could be bad.
Do you think he's in charge?
I think he's part of it. Have you seen that? Have you seen that Netflix movie? It's like We're on Earth or something. It's like talking about the cyber pandemic or whatever.
Yeah, what do they call that? They call it like priming or something. Like
Jim was saying they call it like something.
Programming. Predictive programming.
Predictive programming. Yeah,
that's what the word is. Such a cool word.
I don't think it works on Bitcoiners though. I think once you hold Bitcoin, I don't think it works.
I think this kind of stuff works on everyone.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't fall for it.
Oh, I think it just what it's doing is it's conditioning you to expect something. It's like if we raise the temperature in Pleb Lab, 3 degrees every day, you'd come in here and maybe you used to think 3 degrees higher was hot, but now you're like, this is what it is every day.
See, right there, like you could say, oh, is that so-and-so WGW? And I'd be like, no, it's just this year.
I don't want to start talking about the weather, but I just mostly meant that predictive programming is an interesting concept. And it could
predictive programming?
Predictive programming.
Has anybody ever written about predictive programming?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we've seen it in one.
If you do, can you guys do it in Builders? Predictive markets. I feel like EK should be all over this.
I would put it in quotes.
Let's see. Did you ever fix your search or no?
No, it's still a website search. Look at that. Empty.
Somebody get on it, stackers. Predictive programming. Let's get a topic on this.
Someone wrote, I think Bird-Eye is the only one I've seen mention predictive programming, and they might have not done the phrasing exactly.
I think predictive programming is in every ecosystem, regardless of it.
Well, so what is
I think some people are susceptible to it.
Can you explain predictive programming?
I don't know. It's a sense of programming people, shepherding them. It's like it's a way to get them to think the way you think. It's a whole thing.
I wish Jim were here.
It's very. What's the right word? Choose my words carefully here. It's very fiat.
So my understanding of predictive programming is that they release content and ideas in anticipation of those things actually happening in the world, so that we are like conditioned to accept
the alien stuff.
Is that your understanding?
Yeah, like alien stuff.
That's kind of that's like the theory around predictive programming, is they're getting us ready to accept.
But were we predictive program for 9/11
something that'll happen?
And for
they're shaping us towards sheeping us. Yeah, they're like herding us towards a certain I don't know exactly what they'd be trying to program us to do in this case, except getting us to be like, oh yeah, it's reasonable to expect the entire electric grid and cellular grid and data grid
Not
to
in
go
Texas,
down.
baby. Not in Texas.
Yeah, not the
Not in
energy
Texas.
grid. And
You get that out of here, Keyan. That's not happening in Texas.
unless AOC has her way, we'll still keep our energy independent.
No names, Keyan. Argue ideas, Keyan.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well,
that was me being sarcastic. That's a running thing you hear.
that is that movie. That movie. That
No
a lot
names.
A lot of people labeled that as
Only narratives and
Another way to view
ideas.
this is that
No names.
we're all like in a zeitgeist of ideas, and like we're all thinking about cyber pandemics because we're all just kind of sharing so much information.
I think you just put it out there and
things
it's
the same
going to
way.
happen. Yeah. I don't know what you call that. I think that's just called like, is that, I guess that would be predictive programming where you just keep hitting people over the head and then it just happens. Speaking in existence. Yeah. Cool. That was our rant on that stuff. Let's jump into the top snackers of the week. This is voted by you. Or no, this is not voted by you. This is just the top snackers. First one we got Fabs.
Fabs.
Ooh,
Big
look.
week for Fabs.
We got the legend here, Mr. Kalutis. Zap him. Well, at least you
Look
get
at
to
him.
zap
Look
him.
at his Greek emoji.
Do you think that's
an
a
emoji?
Do you think that's like a Nostr emoji?
No, that's a Apple emoji.
Oh, wow. It makes sense. Apple
Animated
is hosting
emoji.
Zeus.
That is personalized.
Undisciplined. Look at that guy.
Brita unfiltered.
Co. Gray Ruby. Nout. Look at Nout's back. I haven't seen this guy in 20 years. 20 months.
I feel like now, yeah, I might have other NIMs.
Oh, okay.
Not that I know, but I would guess.
Are you tracking people?
No, I don't. But I would guess.
Oh, wow.
'Cause,
First predictive programming, now tracking. What's going on?
That's right,
Stacker
guys.
News?
I'm in charge.
We're going to get into the most boring segment in Bitcoin. This is the most boring segment. It's gone back to the most boring segment because KR won't turn off his hat.
Well, we'll see.
And we'll see what happens. But this is the
We
most
don't
boring
know.
segment in Bitcoin. Honestly, Stackers, I would just tune off right now. This is where you could literally cut away. We're not going to talk about anything else. It just gets the most boring segment of Bitcoin.
No, this is an amazing segment. You really want to stay for this. If you miss this, you'll regret it for the rest of your life.
So Orthworm, Kepfer turned back on his hat. And then we got Ben Carmen. Stuck at 3, Ben.
Was Catford's was off, wasn't it? I told you there was like
people
10
are just
people
messing with
that
Ben
all-
now. You can't. I would just say like this. I'm just gonna say this: the more you taunt the Ben, the more you taunt Conran, the more you're gonna get the Bens after you. All he has to do is send one message to the Ben army.
Yeah, Ben is a high-ranking member in the Ben army.
The Ben Council, the Council of Bens.
Yeah,
he's high up there.
yeah.
I think he's the one that actually votes you into the Bens.
There's a reason he's riding a bear in his profile picture. Most of them
Is that a bear? I never noticed that.
most
Is
of
that
them-
really? Oh, it is a bear.
Most of them are
Can I
not
zoom in?
riding bears.
Oh, it's a fiat bear. So he's riding the fiat bear with laser eyes and a samurai
because
sword.
he's a bull.
Is that a samurai sword?
I think it is a sword. I don't know if it's.
Is that
It might
Bitcoin
be
in-
the
is that
like
a
the
bee in his
Excalibur
hand?
sword.
Is that Bitcoin in his hand?
That is a Bitcoin
Wow.
in his
And
hand.
he's not wearing any socks. Look at that. No socks.
Are you sure?
Yeah, look, because
He might just be wearing very long white socks. You only see his ankles here. So,
The big question is, where is he coming from in that forest?
but he is wearing light socks with dark shoes.
He was able to go into the forest, convert the fiat bears
to Ben's.
to then ride it
Yeah,
with Bitcoin and laser eyes and a samurai sword.
he slays.
This
the
is why he
bears.
should be number 1.
Well, that's a great theory,
Thetford is in his way.
but he's not. He's in third place.
So what do we got here? 214, 182. Wow. And then Orthworm, 270. Yeah, that's tough. Well, at least KR turned off his hat. It was
Yeah.
bad. It was bad for it's bad look.
It's bad for morale for people who think they deserve to be at the top,
Just saying.
but they.
We'll see. I don't know. I know
strategize.
Orthworm. I keep saying this. It should just be Earthworm and Ben Carmen on the
Duking
top
it
right
out.
now. Yeah, duking
But
it
I have
out.
my cowboy hat. And I
'Cause-
have like 100 more days on Ben. So
But you work for Stacker News, man. So does KR. That's why you guys shouldn't be in there.
I still operate under the same rules. I lost my cowboy hat like 6 months
Look
ago.
at me. I have a
and
cowboy
just
hat right
ate
now.
it.
Look, I have 24
It was
days.
sad,
Look at
but I
that.
just
I have
ate it.
24-day cowboy hat. You're welcome.
That's new for you. That's probably your longest streak, Anna. Go to your profile. What's your longest streak?
The problem
Go to your
is
profile. Let's see how long.
all right. So this is all we got. Let me read the. What are you doing this weekend, Keyan? While I search for the comments.
What am I doing this weekend? I guess some of the work I wasn't able to do during the week.
Yeah. What's that?
My wife wants to go check out a large pink rock.
Really? Where?
I don't know.
Where would you say? Luling?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. My wife wants to go do that, so I'm going to go do that.
That's cool.
But otherwise, probably, I need to rework the navigation bar to fit in more intelligent territory filtering. And so that's what I've been thinking a lot about this week and trying to get in. I will probably also do a release tomorrow morning.
Nice. That's good. That's
yeah, but what are you doing this weekend?
Well, let me read this real quick. You got people that zapped us. Blockchain Boog said zap, like he always does. And then we got Farscapian, just boosted us, 1,000 cents. Thank you, Farscapian. And then we got Piaz. He said, prayers and positive energy to the pleb whose wife has cancer. God bless.
Humble pleb.
Yeah, man. Gosh. I think he released an update, didn't he?
He did.
I just haven't had time to read it.
I would go, I would just go to Hodl Pleb's profile and look at posts.
Let's see, recent. It's probably, was it in the top or no?
It would be maybe I think it was today, if not. But I would just go to his profile. And I would either search for him.
Look for it, Stackers, if you want to.
Yeah, he gave an update and explained the adjustment that they're going through as they deal with the reality of being human. Really, this is not everything can be on the blockchain. And
life is precious, Stackers. If you don't know this already, Bitcoin's important. It's important for the future. But until we get to a place of understanding and having empathy for others, I think we're going to continue to battle one another on different viewpoints. And all I'm saying, that's what I love here about Stacker News. People are out there zapping each other, no matter what you're going through. And this is a place where you can call home and talk about these things. I think if he would have went anywhere else, I think he would have not had gotten attention, or he would have got told something mean. But I think,
really,
yeah. I mean, have you seen Bitcoin Twitter right now? The way Elon has it, I have basically like TikTok at this point. It's just like it's not good for your mental health. And then you watch the news these days, like even when I'm in the break room here, and it's not good what's out there. And then you go on Nostr, and it's just like Nostr stuff, which is fine, but there's no real conversation happening.
I think that's just early community stuff.
Really? Yeah, maybe. But you come here at Stacker News, and you can have a conversation about all sorts of things, including some hard issues that people are going through. And that's what I like about the real world community stuff that we do here in Austin and in Nashville and in New York and these other places. And that's what I like about Stacker News. It's able to translate that really well. I don't know of another place that does that in a Bitcoin ethos way, but I'm super biased. So,
okay.
Anyways.
Well, what are you doing this weekend? That's what I asked you.
We're about to do PBS. I think we got Mr. Austin Plebdev here. Yeah.
Wow.
I had to book him in advance. This guy's like super popular.
Jeez, you did talk to his agent?
I talked to his agent, Pleb Poet. She said it was fine. But
what's her take?
I'm just saying, like, we're literally getting to a point where the people around us are going to be too, they're just going to be too high for us to get anymore. We're moving to another cycle.
No, but you gotta go back to day one, and you find the new plebs, the new people who need to be built up. That's what it's about.
And then the other thing that we're doing, we're announcing the final round of Top Builder. So this weekend, tomorrow, Teresa's going to be doing another business workshop, and then I'll be announcing the final round of Top Builder.
Wow!
So that's getting announced, and then all those builders will come to Austin in March, and then we're expecting a lot of people coming in March. But yeah, it's been kind of quiet because everybody's in Argentina. Everybody's in Argentina for Bitcoin Plus Plus.
Have you made your decision at the top 5? Is it done?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's done, Keyan.
How you feeling? Are you There you go.
It sucks, dude. Like,
yeah,
like,
you're breaking up
there's-
with like 10 people.
There's
at
like
the same time.
I mean, there's one person that left this week, so that made things a little bit easier, but that's still 14. Then we had to get it down to like 9, and then literally we were just like trying to get it down to like, the final round. So that's where it's just like tough. It's tough, dude.
Yeah,
but only one can survive. It's like Highlander.
Dude, that's what I like about Top Builder. I love the like waypoints,
That's Queen,
milestones,
by the way.
like watermark thing. I think.
Did you talk to any of the top builders?
I talked to several of them.
Oh wow! Look at you.
I had several of them. I probably had like close to 10 of them DM me. And we had conversations.
See, everybody wants a piece of Keyan.
I mean, I didn't have much help to offer them. They're like, what do you think of my product? And I'm like, well, I don't know what to like. Ask me a direct question.
Were you
please.
nice?
I think so. I think I tried to be nice, and I was good. I tried to help all of them. Several of them asked me more directed questions, and I answered those. The general product feedback ones I struggle with because that's very time consuming because I have to almost take in their entire product. But I did do it when I was asked.
We got some comments. Got last part, and he said, "I'll be using Bitcoin to trade with the ETs." Makes sense. Then somebody said, or last part said, Bird I wrote about predictive programming in UFOs.
Yeah. See, why is our search not finding that? I don't know.
I don't know. You're the guy who built it.
Search is hard, dude.
I know. That's why no one will overtake
It works when I use it. I guess I just know how it works.
Yeah,
I can kind of mess with
maybe
it.
you should just do a tutorial like Super. Get people to use search.
I'm not super, though.
That is true, too.
I'm like weak testnet.
Weak test. Stackers, have yourself a great weekend. Keyan.
Zap.
I was 56.